Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
You text me then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. Now you know. 205-964-5243. You know.
Good evening and welcome to July 28th. We're here at Flippinar 231. We have Miss Williams here and from the day crew, Jessica. Adria couldn't be here tonight. So should go smoothly. Again, if it was just going to be me doing the narrating and we'd got it in. But thanks, Jessica, for showing up.
You do a good job too.
Yeah.
You taught me.
Showing up. And but here, we're here to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate where your cash or credit does not matter. Low risk, high reward opportunity. Today's topic that we'll get to is what if they ask for $1,000 EMD, also known as earnest money deposit, and you don't have it? So we'll answer that question later on in the show. But before I turn it over to Jessica, make sure you, if you want to draw in the live stream, you can text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243, and we'll definitely get you on. You can have your own personal training session one-on-one with us. All right, so text the word Gator if you want to do that. I hadn't sent the text out, but just to reiterate the times, Monday through Wednesday around 3:45-ish p.m. Eastern, check local listings. On Thursdays, even though it says 7:05, it means 8:05 Eastern-ish also. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're here, share, like. If you're on any other platform, follow. And we would appreciate it greatly. All right. I don't know if you have any questions yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one came from J Hunt 904. He's funny. He's on Instagram. He said, how do you get consistent quality leads? He also said that he likes your slides.
Oh, the thumbnails?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, you like the shoes you have on. YouTube can't see, but TikTok and
they
Instagram can see.
They are for sale. So, by the way, good evening, Renika, if I didn't say on the live.
All right. He said, how do you get consistent quality leads?
You got it.
I mean, I don't think there's a certain way to get consistent quality leads. I think the lead game is a numbers game. You talk to 10 people, one may be a quality. I mean, I think the number game and leads is, 10% is probably the percentage of who's going to really be doing business with you. So out of 10 people you talk to, one person may be quality. Out of 100 people, 10 people may be quality. So I think when it comes to lead generation, from my experience, it's more just playing the power numbers and knowing that the more people I talk to, the more opportunity that I have. But I'm pretty sure Ty has a different way of. You
have to. How do you get quality? What's the best method of getting quality leads? I don't know if there's a best method because everybody's resources and who they are as a person, the time that they have available to do this, all of that will factor in on what forms of lead generation you can pursue. The main thing is with any form of it, you need to be very consistent with it and have a great deal of patience, and definitely have a plan with your lead generation, because a lot of it is follow up. And at the end of the day, the main objective is to talk to as many, depending on what type of real estate you're targeting. But mostly we're here talking about houses. to talk to as many people that own houses as possible. Now, you can filter that out and say, hey, I want to talk to as many people that own houses that are considered senior owners. That can be, I think they define it as owning a property for 30 years or more, which normally puts you in the 50s, 60s, 70s, if not older. Or you may target tired landlords, or free and clear owners. So the main objective is getting in front of enough owners, because you're going to, as Renika said, because the majority of we're just talking about wholesaling here, the majority of the people that you talk to are going to want more than what makes sense, right? So that's why it's so important that your lead generation game is consistent. Whatever it is, if it ain't but one lead a day, that should translate into one deal a month or whatever. When I say one lead, though, I don't mean, I mean actually you and the person are actually talking about selling it. They want to sell, you want to buy. You all just have to agree on the price. That's what I define as a actual lead. You'll have a lot of contacts, but an actual lead is when actually they want to sell, and obviously you want to buy. So.
Okay. I see you in the Gator room. I'm gonna ask this one question, and then I'm gonna add you. This one came from Made with Love on TikTok. They said that a home was sold by auction, but the owner never signed the deed over because the new owner is in prison and the original owner wants to sign it over or resell the home. What should I do? I'm in Indiana.
So the deed was, so someone purchased a tax lien?
I
Is
guess
that,
so.
she said it was done by auction? She said something about it was purchased through auction?
Yeah, she said the home was sold by auction, but the owner never signed the deed over because the new
You
owner.
probably got to do a quiet title. You probably got to do a quiet title. I don't know if you bought the tax lien, you bought a deed, but a lot of times when you buy properties on auction via tax lien and things of that nature, it gives the owner a year or whatever that redemption period in your state. They have that time to come back and buy it from you with a return on top of that. So, but if you're past that redemption stage, then you got to do something called a quiet title for you to get the deed and for everything to be deeded over to your name. So I'm not for sure exactly how you purchase that. I know you go to auction. I mean, some auction you get full title. You get all deeds and everything. So most likely you probably bought a tax lien or something of that nature, and you need to take the next step and do a quiet title.
Okay. You want to add something?
No, let's see, we could.
All right. I'm about to add Robert to the chat. Let me take this off.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. How's everyone?
Mm-hmm.
I found a house. I'm in Benson, California. I'm in Hardin County, North Carolina. I found a house at 3039 Ash Avenue, and the guy wants $150,000 for it. It needs a lot of work. And so he wants to, as earnest money. He wants $5,000 down on earnest money, and I thought that was kind of steep, but I just want to do an ARV on the property first before I go any further. So can Ty assist me on doing an ARV on that house?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
I appreciate it.
All right, just give me a moment to set it up. How did you find the lead? By the way.
Well, it was he put a sign out front. It was the owner selling it. It used to be a restaurant, but he turned it into a house. Started using it as a house, and he's got a subfloor. It's got a concrete floor, and it's got a subfloor, and the subfloor is just, it need to be repaired.
What's the address?
Turn a commercial property into a residential property.
Yes.
Did he change the zoning? I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. When did he change his own? What's the address?
It's 3039 Ash Avenue. Is it Harnett County?
And what's the city?
The city is I think it's Benson.
What is
Oh
it?
no, done. It's done.
Who?
Done. DUNN, North Carolina.
I think he said 339. Is
Oh,
it 339?
No, 3039.
Okay.
yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. So it says rural residents. I don't know what that means. That's probably a state coding. Let's look real quick. Okay. So only 2 comps in this area. Let's look at this property and see if we can get a visual of it right here. Well, I guess it looks like a house down there in India, I guess. Let me see.
It does.
Off the street. So
Mhm.
Oh, they might have one of those type of restaurants.
okay, yeah. Yeah. I guess that could have been a
I
restaurant.
had an auntie that just put a restaurant in the back of her house, like
Yeah.
and they put a
1
restaurant.
acre. It's the house is 22.3. It's on 1 acre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hold
Maybe
on.
it's in a commercial area.
Yeah, let me just do this. Where is done? Okay, so population just under 10,000. It's not really any part of a suburban area. It's gonna, but it looks like it's a freeway town off I-95. That's a good thing, I guess. But the main thing is just looking at it. Towards the square footage on it says 2230 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
That may affect the number of comps here. So what I'm gonna do is reduce the size of the range and see if it picks up more. It does pick up a few more comps. And how much does he want for it?
He wants 150,000. He said he's turned down 100,000.
Yeah,
Also, he said he's turned down 120,000.
yeah, he wants full price. You know, he's in La La Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not motivated. It's just somebody who wants to sell. Yeah, which is fine. I say he's just someone that wants to sell a piece of real estate, but he's not motivated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a lot of activity in that area because of probably the size of the town, which is understood, or whatever. But you know, he's definitely, for that to probably be really attractive. I don't know the condition of it, but
It's bad.
sir.
It's bad.
Yeah. He's definitely in La La Land if it's in bad condition because it's only worth around that. You know, you got 160, 172. Both of those were last year. So you know what that means. You know, the prices are adjusted greatly or whatever. So then in a small market like that. But yeah, he, you know, and being that size of a house, almost 2,200 square feet or whatever. So yeah, it'll make it tough to get a number that because he's turned down 100,000. Also, that's all we need to hear. He's
Yes,
already
sir.
turned down 100,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't put any more. After you disconnect from this call, don't
Yes,
ever
sir.
think about this address again.
All right, sir. We
When you
appreciate
pass
it.
by there, close your eyes.
I
Yeah, I
not see why
appreciate
he want 5,000.
Yeah. Thank you.
5,000.
He wanted a $5,000 earnest money deposit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's crazy. I think
Crack is major and done, ain't it?
Got to be.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
man. But appreciate you joining us, Mr.
Hey,
Roberts.
listen. I've been trying to get on for I don't know how long.
Hey, man, it's not that difficult. Hey, just
I know.
text
I
them.
I got it now. So I'll be
Okay.
I'll
All
be here
right,
every
that's what's
Thursday.
up.
All right, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm.
All right. You got to change your screen.
Say what now?
You got to change your screen.
Oh.
Get off the phone.
I got an interesting deal.
one of them days.
Definitely preoccupied.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
This one says, I need help analyzing a deal. It's a 17 unit complex in Miami Beach. It nets 218K annually, 5.2% cap rate, and they want 3.2 million. They gave you the address and they said, what would you make this a deal? He's open to seller carry. I don't know what that means.
Cap rate too low for me, but
What, that 5.2?
yeah, that is very low for a return on
Yeah,
money.
yeah, that's probably probably. I'm sure that's retail in Miami Beach.
But it
You
is
know,
Miami Beach.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. They make you a 4 may
You
be
could probably
normal.
take it and probably do Airbnb and really
Yeah,
maximize your return. I'm pretty sure they're probably not doing Airbnb. But yeah, because I think you do the math, it's only 188 a unit, which is pretty good.
yeah,
For Miami Beach.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but I
I'm
think it's
saying,
one of those things where if you do get it, it's more like Airbnb play to really maximize your return. Unless you just want to part money to get a 5% return on your money. Um,
yeah. So what makes it he's open to seller carry? You know that's but like you say, it's Miami Beach, so that just puts a little different spin on it. Like you say, um, hmm.
he said 218,000 a month.
Yeah,
Divided by
it would be
How
very
would that
interesting.
be though? I mean, 200. Oh, annually. I finna say
Mhm.
218 a month would be 12,000 a unit. Oh, that's annual.
Yeah,
So 281 annually. Divided by 17. Well, it's 1,300 a month. Each unit is bringing in $1,300 a month.
well, yeah, you should maybe do more than that with Airbnb then.
Yeah.
When you think,
I mean,
yeah,
especially in Miami. So if
hmm,
I would do that, if I was going to wholesale that, I will package it up as more of a short-term rental play and allow them to really, really maximize really maximize the return of their money. It's not a bad deal.
seem like that
Um,
would be under rented down there though. Seem like
that seemed to
1,300
be on, yeah,
because I was
Miami.
a friend of
This
mine.
is a one bedrooms.
Yeah, I was looking for just like one day. One of my friends called me, her nephew, a really close friend of mine. She watched me, she be tripping. But I was one of her nephews live in Miami, um, and he wanted me to look for some rent. I'm talking about this was some trash and wasn't
Yeah,
nothing below 1,300.
right.
So it may be a smoking deal because it may be under rented. Or what I
It may
can
be under
imagine.
value as far as if you came in and really renovated it, there may be even more value on the renovated side too to increase rents. So
Well, yeah, just text me on that because you may actually have some where it sits, yeah, but there may be some serious value add opportunity there because well, you know what, Nick, you know what you just did? You did the 1,300 a month based on I'm assuming that's the NOI. I'm
I
assuming.
don't know. He said net is net 218 net, so maybe they're getting more. Because
Well,
that net
well,
is
that's what I'm
after
saying. So
expenses.
yeah, that's not clear because we would need to know what's the gross.
What's the
And then
gross?
okay, but if that's already calculated in, that's the NOI, the net operating income. For you all that don't know, that's basically your gross income minus your gross expenses equals your net operating income. And how we come to that 5.2 cap rate is you divide the NOI by the price, and it should come to that 5.2. So I'm assuming that's what it is. So actually, the gross rents are probably a lot more, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So then with that being said, it may be at market rate if we knew what the actual gross rents were. You see what I'm saying? So we just need more
I think
information.
that's gross because I just did the math on the math on doing the cat rate of 218
Yeah.
divided by the 3.2, and that give me 6.8.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that is gross. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when I did the 218, that's how you get the cat rate. Divide the annual divided by the
Yeah.
all-in cost. Divided by 3.2, that's 6.8.
Yeah, some missing here. Then we missed
So,
some information here. RLE
but the
acquisitions.
type of investor is going to buy something like that is going to be a very serious investor because it's 3.2. Everybody doesn't have that type of money, but it's definitely going to be an investor, long-term play type of investor. And I think there's a lot of investors out there um,
Oh,
They said
that's
that
looking for properties like
oh,
this.
yeah,
it's
it's
not fully rented.
uh, yeah, somebody would take that down at
Yeah,
5.2 with
oh, yeah,
because it's Miami and they gonna keep it
Miami.
going. Yeah, it's gonna just keep going up.
Yeah, that's not bad. Without knowing everything,
Yeah, we don't
I don't
know
think that's a
everything.
bad
I
deal.
really dive deeper in the numbers. Look confusing right there, but
Yeah.
yeah, just text me. We'll see what's up.
All right, I'm about to add Swift Moolah to the
Swift
screen.
moolah.
Oh, that's right. Fast money. Hello.
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 Yo, what's happening, man?
How you doing, man?
Oh, super tight. What about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. My question is, I had a contact, right? And my contact, when I looked up the specs and everything, it said that a property was linked to another property. So, can you explain to me what that means?
Well, what are you talking about in prop stream?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no. What happens is that one of the and I can pull it up here. I probably can on the property we were just looking at. Yeah, okay, it does have some. Okay, so I'll just show you really quick.
Okay.
Which can be some very important information when you evaluating properties, looking at those linked properties. Okay, so like on the property we were just looking for Mr. Robert, if you see right here on linked properties, and what it does, it associates all of the properties linked to this mailing address right here,
Okay.
right? Now, not always, but in most cases, it's the owner. Sometimes it may be an attorney or someone that registered an LLC or something in them, and all the mail is going to them on their properties and stuff. Sometimes it's that situation because that's the registered agent for the LLC, even though they're not one of the managing members, they just set it up. So not always, but in this situation, this is in someone's name. So this is definitely all of his properties. So if you scroll down here, you can see the properties to own. If you click on any of them, which one is this? This is done. So if you click on, I'll just click on this one here. So if you click on this particular property here, it'll open up that information and you can take a look at it. That's one of the ways you can see or potentially look for investors in a particular area, right?
Okay.
By the number of property, you can do a filter to put in the number that you say you want to look at everybody that owns 50 or more properties in a particular county or zip code or whatever. It'll pull all that information up for you.
Okay.
Or whatever. And then you can filter what type of property also. But that's what it is. That's the only thing it means.
So it's not going to hinder me. It wouldn't hinder my deal.
No.
Okay. Okay. That's all I needed to know. Thank you, sir.
No problem at all, my man.
Okay, this one came from Instagram. They said, does the formula to determine MAO differ from market to market?
Well, technically, yeah. Well, yeah, because just to use the extreme examples, like calculating a deal, like we just talked about Miami, right? Miami Beach or South Beach. You're going to use different numbers, right? Because investors will pay more in those areas because a lot of that real estate doesn't come available a lot. Whatever. So they'll play because it's a long-term play. It appreciates in a lot of cases a lot faster than other markets. Southern California, that LA area, Los Angeles County, Riverside, what do you got? Orange County, those different markets. The Bay Area with San Francisco, Oakland, I guess, Seattle, New York City, DC, those have different you have to evaluate those a little different. You have more room to work with in a lot of cases, right? As far as what you can negotiate and allow the owner to take as far as potential of the sale of their property. Most of the rest of the country falls in line. or whatever. And a lot of times you still won't know. And one of the things, and I hadn't even pulled the card out yet. One of the great things about where is it? One of the great things about Privy, if you text MLS to the number, it'll actually show you what investors are paying in particular areas, what they're willing to pay. Once you dive into the number, it'll give you a percentage, and you can look at the transaction of a particular property, and you can see what they paid for it and what they're are willing to pay. But not always, but a lot of times it does. One of the other great things it does is that you can identify the hotter areas in pretty much any market. That's powerful in itself. That can help you when you're strategizing on where you're going to do your direct mail or your cold building list for direct mail or cold calling or text messaging, or even if you're going to do Facebook ads or Google AdWords, you can hone in on those particular zip codes if you're interested in targeting those hotter areas within a particular market. You may not want the hottest, you may want the next level down and do all that for you or whatever. So, but to answer the question, I don't even know what the question was.
Does do that formula works in all markets?
Yeah, I got off track. Okay, I think I explained it. But go ahead, what you got, Renisha?
Yeah. Personally, I think, despite the market, there's a lot of extreme cases, but despite a number, if I look at it at 70%, 70% of 100, 70% of 1,000, 70% of 10,000 is all the same number. It's just different numbers. So that's why we use percentages. So a percentage of whatever number is the same number, no matter what market we in. So when you're thinking about like a flip, I mean, I don't know why we'll flip a property at 90%, on the dollar. There's only a 10% profit margin in there. And that's if anything doesn't go wrong. And that's minus realtor fees and all these things. So those percentages there is your profit. So we move that, you may want to move it less than, but the farther you move it up, the less profit that you will receive. So just be mindful that, those, the equation is a percentage. And that percentage, in my opinion, can be applied in all different markets. However, if you're doing 80%, 80% versus a 70% percentage, just know that your profit just went from 20% went from 30% to 20%. So all you're doing is minimizing your profit when you minimize those numbers and those percentages. So when we're looking to buy real estate, I think as an investor, you want to be a little conservative with your numbers and allow the icing to be the icing, because a lot of times you get into these properties, there's so many unforeseen expenses. So if I walk in at 80% and knowing that there's unforeseen expenses, now my profit done dwindled down to 90%. Now my profit's at 10%. So you got to leave yourself that room for error as well. So just be mindful of those things.
Okay. We got a bunch of people in the data room, so I guess I'll just.
Oh yeah, we got a ton in here. What happened?
Start at number one. First, let me ask this question because they typed it in there. He said, "Can I do deals in states other than mine, excluding the states you actually have to have a real estate license in? Can you still do deals there?"
It's called virtual wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
Or virtual flipping. You can buy in other states. Absolutely.
Right there. Boom. Put it on steroids today.
And I'm about to add Omar to the chat, to the stream.
Is that the Omar?
Is the O.
Not the Omar.
Hey, where have you been, man?
I knew you were going to ask that question. Oh, man, what's going on? What's going on?
Oh, super tight.
Good. Training, running the business. Hey, Renika. Hey, Adrian. How y'all ladies doing? Right. So, I've been in the trenches,
That's right.
doing the homework. I said, all right, time to get out there and, get busy with it. So I had that one, that burnt out property we was talking about before. I had a little bit of a bid war going with that, but I put that to the side. The bandit side's been working. A lot of calls from the bandit sides. So yeah, a lot of calls out here in the market. So I have
What
something.
market you in? I'm sorry.
I'm out in the Westchester area.
New
Westchester,
York?
New York. Close to like the Bronx, White Plains, all that area. So I have something in the oven. I'll let you know, Ty, once you know, I'm grinning about it. So, but I had two questions. One, when on PropStream, and you look at a property that's out of my market or in the market, and there's no square footage on the home listed, do I have to then go to the building department, get property records to procure the square footage of the home?
Sometimes it could just be a simple Google search, and you can look on sites like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor. One of those may have it. Sometimes when PropStream doesn't. So,
Okay.
especially if it was ever listed before an agent, I think they almost have to include that information. You know, it has to be figured out. So sometimes you can, but sometimes when you do that, they're still not there. Then you can try to find the county website, which all that information normally is coming from the county. So they just may not have it. They have glitches in their system sometimes in their recording. So, but after you go through looking at those other sites and you don't see it, you can try to find the county website for it and look it up. If it's not there, then at that point, you're just gonna probably just try to do a Google, when you do your Google Street View, you're just trying to see, you know, you eyeballing it at that point. Well, they look like they're the same. You can probably look from the roofs and look and see, oh, it's not that much bigger, or these houses are very similar in size. So you should be able to figure it out or whatever. So it doesn't have to be exact. You're comparing a lot of neighborhoods. The houses are built within the same square footage, you know, because that's why most quote unquote subdivisions were built. You know, even if they're really old, technically it was a subdivision. It just, as time went on, they made subdivision a little bit more secluded. But when you go in the neighborhood, technically it was a subdivision at some point. Because they built this house, then they built that house, then, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they look similar to each other and are definitely close in size. Now, not always, but in most times. So.
All right. Good. Second question is, when on Dealulator, the contract, the one-page contract, once I'm filling that out, the watermarks won't show up once I print it out, right?
No. Once as you fill it out and you hit generate, the next page is going to take you to, you scroll down, you see the green button that says download. It's going to be a blank contract, you know, not a blank contract, it's going to be the contract with your information. It won't have any watermarks or anything on it.
Okay. Yeah, because first I was trying to print it out first, but then I said, oh, I'm supposed to fill it out and then print it out. Right.
That's like I showed you in the video.
Yep.
If you alter from those instructions, I have no idea what you'll get.
Yeah. So I'm at that point now. So I'll definitely keep you posted with that. And so I got everything crossed. Should be good.
And you can also invest into some type of like online signing app. So it puts you at a place where you don't have to print it out. You can just email it to them. They sign it right from their email, and it makes that whole transaction easier versus you having to physically take the paper to them and scan it back in, things of that nature. So.
Oh, so you just said forward that application over to them?
No.
You can do something like a DocuSign. There's a lot of signing apps out there. Like DocuSign. Sometimes there's phones that comes with it. You can sign right there on your phone, but it just helps with the paperwork process where you don't have to print it out, scan it in, go take it, get them to sign it, scan it back in, and things of that nature. And you just use the signing app where you can just download it, email it right to them, and from their email they can just sign it, and it comes right back to you. Both of you all have executed contract. And,
Well,
just make
hey,
that paperwork process a lot easier. So,
Renika,
Mhm.
all he let me do, and I'm so disappointed in him because in the video I show, number one, how to fill it out, how to generate it, how to download it, and how to get it signed electronically. I show
yeah.
all of that in that video.
No,
I
that's
show,
true. That is true. Yes, that is true. That is true. Yep. Yep. I was just now I understand everything that y'all talking about. I'm just chiming in just before I get ready to do what I got to do. I'm at that point, so you're all correct, definitely. And
I forgot that little piece.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay. It's a
now,
lot of information downloaded to you right now.
yeah, yeah.
So it
So
makes
for
it
the most
easier.
part, yeah. Oh yeah, I know, Ty. I didn't want to interrupt Renika, but now I wasn't gonna send them this contract.
You talked about printing. And I was like, printing.
Yeah, email, because this is going to be virtual as well. They're out in North Carolina, so
Yeah.
it's in a state. So definitely gonna be
Well,
doing it that way. And yeah, so I'm at that point. So I'm feeling good, feeling great, and I'll get back with y'all. All right. Thank y'all so much as always. And
okay,
back to the lesson.
all right, my man.
All right. Talk to y'all.
All right, I'm about to add Joe to the stream. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, my man?
All right. So I was wondering if you could help me illustrate comp in this address that I have. It's boarded up, and when I look it up on Redfin, it's actually off market, so it doesn't have a bunch of pictures. And with that, I also wanted help defining the MAO. I've been on the Deal You Later website, but I just wondered if you could go through it with me.
Okay, all right.
The
Okay.
address is 3001 Elm Street, and that's in Tampa, Florida. And the zip is 33610.
You said 3,000. What you said was what was it?
3001 Elm Street, ELM, in Tampa. And that's 33610, the zip code.
All right. Okay, so just to try to get a little backstory here on this one, 2012 they paid 33,000 cash for it. They own 28 other properties. This is LLC, yeah. They own 28 other properties, as you can see down here. That was the last transaction on it. So let's dive into the numbers. So we'll look at the MLS details on it and see what we come up with. People that maybe be watching this never seen this before. So ideally, the red dot is the property that we're targeting, and so we have these main streets right here. You can cross them, but we prefer not to. So we got number 1, 2, and 4 that are on the same side of the street that ours is. East Sly Avenue. We're going to try to stay above that also. So hopefully number 1, 2, and 4 gives us what we want. So what I'll do is go down here and I'll use the boundary tool and just select those 3 and do the search. The first 3 things we want to look at is the year built, the lot square footage, and the square footage of the house itself. This is a 1958 build. Ideally, you would like to stay within 5 years of that build, up or down. So 1963 to 1953 would be ideal. Sometimes that's not possible, so you have to go with nearest and best. The lot square footage is 9,700 square feet. So, all of this is in play. Normally within 2,500 square feet would be ideal. And then the square footage of the house itself within a couple of hundred square feet up or down. So all of that's in play and we're good. All right. So what I want to do is look at the most recent transaction because the market is adjusted because of the interest rates going up quite a bit here since the spring. So this is a July sale, and it sold for 200 and around 62,000. It's a little smaller. It's 1 year old, and the lot square footage is the same. So I would be comfortable at this 260 or so amount as far as an ARV. Now,
Okay.
what's the deal on it? Because with them being an entity that owns all of these properties, well, what's the backstory on it?
Well, I mean, I happened to be driving in the area and I just saw that it was boarded up. So
Okay,
I
I
thought
got
there
you.
might be a possible wholesaling deal there.
Yeah, you can still reach out to them. Here's their address right here. Where's this? Okay, that's in Gainesville though, so it's not local to you.
Right.
Hopefully you can Google the address and find the phone number for them and
Hmm.
and reach out. Um, what I would recommend that you do on it. You have to you may if you don't find the phone number, just send them something in the mail and see if they're interested in selling. Hopefully you call them where, hey man, we want out of this property. We own a lot of other properties. This is a troubled property for us. It could be a tired landlord on that particular property, and you can do a deal on it.
Right. So yeah, I came up with about 255. So I'm in that ballpark where you came up with it. So
Yeah, we're very close.
okay,
That'll
okay.
work. That'll work
All
too.
right. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem at all, man. Please join us again.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. I think this is JC Davis. I'm about to add them to the stream. Hello.
JC, where you live streaming from, man?
Hey man, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama right now.
Well, Ham,
Actually,
what's happening? You say you're in Birmingham, right?
yes.
Well, what part of town?
I'm sorry, I think there's a delay.
What part of Birmingham?
I'm near, actually Hoover's, the sign to Hoover's like right in my backyard.
Okay, we're close. That's where we are right now too. Okay, well, what's happening? What you got?
Yeah. So I was wondering, I heard one of you mention earlier that you can also do this virtually. And my question is, I watched one of your videos. It kind of popped up, and I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense here. How would it work virtually for you if you were to like prospect a house that's like 10 states away without you needing to travel there to take the photos, or do you ask the person to record it, or what's the best way to kind of handle that situation?
All right, you got a bad connection. I'll answer your question for you. Go ahead and disconnect. Yeah, go ahead and disconnect. Yeah, you had a bad connection, my man. I guess on your phone or whatever. But I'll answer the question for you. So yeah, you're going to still analyze the property the same, whether it's virtually or locally. But like you said, how do you get people to go out and take photos for you and do some of the grunt work for you? Now, the photos thing, you may be able to get the seller to do it, maybe, or whatever. If not, that's where you network and partner with other wholesalers. Maybe bring a real estate agent involved that you partner in that particular market, or if you have a family or friend in that market. So those are going to be the three different probably options that you have as far as potentially getting some help: a wholesaler, realtor, a family or friend. Now, this video here, if you watch it, it gives you an opportunity to target properties that are listed, and we'll gladly work with you on putting those deals together, because now you're dealing with a real estate agent. They're going to want earnest money deposit. We'll help you with that. They're going to want proof of funds. We'll put you in the right direction on that. We would love to partner with you on that, so we'll make it a lot easier. Your thoughts, Renika?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to virtual wholesaling, you just got to have your team on the ground. That somebody got to be running around on your behalf. There's only so much you can allow the seller to do, because once the seller meet the end buyer and they start talking, then they begin to cut you out of the deal. So you always got to have your team, no matter where you want to virtual wholesale. You got to find somebody in that area that can move around on your behalf and keep your interests held up in the whole transaction. And that's mainly what it is. Same people you would need locally, And the same process you would do locally would be the same process you do there. It will just everything to be done through your team that has the boots on the ground.
Okay. I'm gonna read this question because they put it in the chat. But they said they submitted a deal, but they got a response that their property needs to be under contract. What exactly does that mean?
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. What does it mean to be? It means, okay, that's the whole process, right? Is to okay, let me try to explain. All right, so okay, so what makes wholesaling work is
Get your papers out. Get your papers out.
Get my papers out, man. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. But anyway, what makes wholesaling work is the contract. And if I can find where it is, it'll make a lot more sense. Here it is. If you want number one, to get that contract that's needed, this video here will give you free access to it. Show you how to get free access to it, how to fill it out for sellers, how to fill it out for buyers, and how to get it signed. That's what I was joking with Omar a little while ago about. But the whole process starts with you find a great deal, you put it on the contract. That gives you your superpower in this business, right? You don't own it. It's just a purchase and sales agreement. All real estate transactions start that way, right? When you have a buyer, a seller, it starts with the paperwork saying that they're going to buy it and this person is going to sell it. Whether it's a $10,000 property or a $10 million property, they all start with a contract, right? So once you have that contract, depending on the verbiage in it, it gives you an equitable interest where if someone wants to buy you out of that deal, they can before it's sold. That's why your cash or credit doesn't matter. If you find a great deal, you can have a cash buyer or someone that has access to quick money, however you want to define it, and they buy you out of that deal. It's normally done by you either signing the contract over to someone or we do what we call a double close. It's basically two closings. You close with the seller first, and then you close with the buyer because now you're the owner for that 30 minutes, hours, or whatever. And it's still funded by that cash buyer in most cases. Sometimes you can do transactional funding to accomplish the same thing. So when I say, do you have it on the contract? The reason that I ask you that is it's hard enough for us to manage what we have going on the properties that people are sending that they do have on the contract. And we just start saying, sending us properties or whatever. See, the issue is with that people, it makes it, most people don't know what a deal is. So it just absorbs our time, even with the ones on the contract. So I know if I just say send them to us without them being on the contract, we couldn't manage it, because it's going to be too much stuff that comes through that are not deals, or not even close to deals, because most people are not going to consume enough of this content to know when to put something on the contract and when not, or when to refer something and when not, or whatever. So that's what I mean by that. Even though I have a free calculator on dealulator.com that every deal that before you even put it on the contract, you should run it through. Now, you may come up with your own formulas or whatever. That's a good basic formula and way to determine if you have a potential opportunity or not. If it does nothing else, it prevents you from wasting time on stuff that has no chance of being a wholesale deal as for the cash purchase or whatever. So that's what I mean when I say, do you have it on the contract, and why did I ask that question? I don't know if I answered, but that's why. So.
All right. This one came from Jackie Johnson. She said, how can I get a house to live in and do business out of? Do business out of the home without any credit. She's no money on a fixed income, and less than $800. She also said later on down here that she's making a move from California to Alabama.
Sounds like a good move. It's definitely. Well, I'll go first. You don't mind, Marika. Well, yeah. You have a money problem you need to fix first. Forget about a house. You have a situation where you have to worry about paying. That's one of the things Ron LeGrand used to say. Yeah, you want to invest for the future, but you need to worry about today's bills first. Make sure
Amen.
those are taken care of first before you can worry about the future. You know, because
Absolutely.
it's hard to worry about the future when you're hungry, right?
Mhm.
But you're in the right place to fix that money problem. Once you fix the money problem, then you can fix your credit. You'll have enough money to then may possibly even to pay cash for a house if you wanted to. Or you'll have opportunities where you'll come across a lead that it may not be a good wholesale deal, but it may be a great opportunity to get an owner financing situation, and they'll allow you, where you can actually a house that you want to live in or whatever. You may not have to put any money down. So technically you can do that without any money if you just use the power of the internet, but you still need to educate yourself on the process so you could take advantage of those opportunities. It'll be a lot more tedious to do it that way, but the first thing I would advise you to do is to fix your money problem first. You know that fix less than 800. Yeah, it's very, very difficult to live in this world, in this country anyway, on that amount of money. You know, so obviously you're managing, so my hats go off to you. But first, you got to fix your money problem first, and then you can start to worry about a house or whatever, and you can do it. No question about it. Sound like you may have a lot of time. If you're on a fixed income, I'm assuming you don't have a job you have to clock in to. Guess what your job needs to be now? Studying these videos. You're time rich. You're time rich. Most of us are. Some of us are just more than others. So with that being, you're so wealthy with time. Guess what? Leverage that time, the wealth of time that you have into some actual wealth. So, because you're time rich for sure. So this is your job: is to study these videos, and you'll know what to do. What do you think, baby girl?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think there's levels to investing. You have to have some type of foundation for you to stand on before we begin to want to pull ourselves to the next foundation. However, I mean, I think right now you need options, and I think the options you need right now is a roof and the ability to eat. And so honestly, I would focus on maybe getting some type of voucher program that can take care of your rent. I mean, ownership will be hard right now because ownership is totally based on money, not necessarily credit, but totally based on money. So with minimum money, it'd be hard to own. And also, no matter where you are today, doesn't mean that's where you got to be tomorrow. So I want people to understand we all start here, and it's all about planning to get to the next level. So it's more of a plan of, how would you own, maybe next year. But I think right now it's just getting a stronger foundation. If you got to go into a voucher program or some type of food assistant program too, to get your foundation good. So at least you're not worried about those bills. I mean, sometimes bills can cloud you where you can't. I may be time rich, but my mind is so clouded where I can't move. So I would say, handle your necessities so it don't cloud your mind so much. So you can use your time to go out there and do what you do. Now, another thing that you can possibly do when you do get to Alabama and become a bird dog for a bigger team, say, hey, I got time. I can find leads for you and things of that nature to help help with, assisting with your income and things of that nature. But, we all start there, just plan yourself and figure out how you could maybe get into some voucher programs so you can at least get those bills off your table as you build. But I want people to also understand that no credit, no money down type of thing is wholesaling. We're not fully taking ownership of these things. We're really assigning this paper to another end buyer who's fully taking ownership. So you're looking at like as if you're ready to fully take ownership, and there's maybe a step or two that you want to take before that. So.
All right. Okay, this one came from Facebook. They said, "Hey Flip, when it comes to earnest money, the bare minimum is 1,000 before they take you seriously. 5,000, you in there for show." I guess he's asking a question. Is that true? He said, "Lastly, will due diligence period be their time to shop for buyers, and you come up with the earnest money deposit?"
Okay, I guess we can go ahead and answer the question. We're 55 minutes in. So today's topic was what if they ask for $1,000 earnest money deposit and I don't have it? Is today's topic. So as y'all can see, the man there, he's $2.77 short. But I'm sorry, he's $997.23 short. He has $2.77. All right, so
Less than $2. Amen.
He might have could have found that.
Anyway, so I'm saying it backwards. All right, so throw that question back over there again, Jeff.
You want to put it back up?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the question.
Oh.
You don't know what it is? Okay, that's fine.
Wait,
all
I
right.
got you. I'm gonna find it while you talk. Go ahead.
Okay, so the earnest money deposit, let's define what it is first.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, whenever you're doing a real estate contract, a contract with a seller and a buyer, you put up what they call earnest money deposit. It's basically good faith to say, hey, I'm serious about buying this. Now, how much you put up, there's no law on what it has to be. It could be a penny in reality. You can give them a pair of shoes. They're going whatever they deem is value, and they accept it if they want or whatever. So, and what that means is if I don't buy this house, and if we go outside of the due diligence period, if that's a part of the agreement or the inspection period, if you want to call it that, and if I don't buy it, they keep that earnest money deposit, no matter what it is. And that's supposed to settle the agreement, right? Mm. Okay, so what Abdul is referring to is that he's referring to, in most cases, real estate agents or brokers. They are going to want a minimum of 500. They're going to look cross-eyed then. They really want 1,000 minimum, and it just goes up from there depending on the price of the house or whatever. That's one of their ways of saying, am I prevent themselves from wasting their time with people they don't think can buy. The other thing that they add on to that is proof of funds. So they're going to want that minimum $1,000 earnest money deposit in most cases, and proof of funds, proof that you can pay for it, proof of funds, whether that's an approval letter from a lender or a combination of your cash in the bank, or all cash. All right. So the question is, as far as the title, so if they're asking for $1,000 and you don't have it, what do you do? All right. So what you can do, it's a couple of things. With earnest money deposit is a term. It's a negotiation within a contract, right? Either you negotiate something in your favor where you can either lower that amount or extend the time before it's put up, or it could be a deal breaker, right? Just like if somebody gives you a price that doesn't work for you, that's a deal breaker. The same thing can be true with earnest money deposit. Okay, so now a couple of solutions to that is you could write up in the contract, hey, I'll give you $100 today and $1,000 after the 10-day due diligence period, right? You could possibly negotiate. You may have 500. I'll give you 500 now, and the other 500, have to do, or they may want $2,500 down. Say, I'll give you 500, and I'll give you the other 2,000. And so what that does, it gives you time to possibly find a buyer to supplement all of that, right? You still be a little tricky on that. You can depend on the buyer you're dealing with, or you may just know someone to say, hey, if you give me $1,000 on this real estate, on this property, on this deal, I promise you back $2,000 or $2,500 or whatever. Or we just go on the deal 50-50 on whatever we make on. They may have no idea about wholesaling, and you trying to. All they know is that, hey, you may show them a couple of what this person made that, and that may give them some confidence. And it may have the confidence in you. You can if it's truly a deal, in most cases you come up with the money, because you're gonna have individuals out there like myself. If you presented something to me and they were saying $1,000 in an earnest money deposit, and that's really sort of what we're doing with this right here. We're willing to partner with people if it's a deal and proof of funds or whatever. You can come up with it. So it's sort of similar, like the best way I can explain it is that if you had a briefcase full of money, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but this is the best way I can explain it. You had to say, in order for you all to say the money, the briefcase had $40,000 in it, right? And you had just a job was to give it away, right? But in order to give it away, you got to come up with $1,000 to get the keys to it, right? And so if you were able to get away, they'd give you $15,000 out of that briefcase. You think you can come up with $1,000? Do you know someone and you promise them either half of that or maybe double their money or whatever? That's similar to earnest money deposit. Now again, they can lose that money if you don't know how to structure that agreement, where the due diligence period may possibly expire and they are due that money, regardless of what happens after that. So you have to be careful with that. So there are ways around it. And at the end of the day, again, it's a term. It is a negotiation. So if they are not willing to negotiate something that works for you, you just walk. No different than if they give you a price that doesn't work for you. No different if they want to close in 10 days and you want to do 30 or 45. No different if they want a 2-day inspection and you want a 10, 14, or 21-day inspection. Those are negotiation terms that could be deal breakers if you don't want to do it. So, just have to keep that in mind or whatever. So your thoughts, Ms. Williams?
No, I totally agree. Personally, I think $5,000 earnest money is absolutely too much. Why? It screams to me, earnest money sharks. And I know people that plays this earnest money game where they ask for this lump sum of money because they know 9 times out of 10 you may mess up or you may not be able to close, and it's wholly up to them to extend your loan or extend your contract or just take your earnest money, and things of that nature. So unless it's a super, super hot deal, I would never start off with a $5,000 earnest money. This is a super, super hot deal that I know, that I already know that I already know that I have an invite or whatever, or I already know what I want to do with it, just so I can just kill all the competition. But if it's one of those deals that you got to go look for a buyer for, putting up 5,000 earnest money could just be, I just think homeowners that ask that type of money are really looking to take your money, or whatever the case may be, or just think you're wasting their time. So, hey, if you jump forward, I'll take your 5,000 earnest money for my time anyway. And things of that nature. People who want normal people, $500,000 normal, that's just normal earnest money, in my opinion. And if I'm not able to close, I forfeit that. And that's totally fine. I mean, but I know people play an earnest money game, so just be very, very careful with people who asking for those large lump sum of earnest money up front.
Yeah, I'm gonna automatically be turned off on that, especially if it's $1 million property. Okay, that's something you can grasp that. But if it's a couple $100,000, 3, 4, no. Especially
$80,000. No?
Yeah. Oh, it's totally out of the question.
Mm-hmm. So.
All right. Want to keep going?
But
actually,
you're right though. You do the higher you do, of course you're in the money, because they're like, oh, I want you to mess up. Let me sign this contract, because your earnest money is so high. So of course, the higher your earnest money is, you are going to beat out your competition. Because if anything go wrong, all they're going to do is just keep your earnest money and move to the next person.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I got someone in the chat, Swift Moolah. He wants to ask another question.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes, sir. He's back. We can't hear you. Your mic is off.
See. Unmute yourself.
You gotta unmute. We can't hear you.
I tried to do it. Look. Can't hear you.
We can hear you. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
All right. Sorry.
All right. Let me throw Renikia's banner up. There we go. Renikia, tell the folks what you do.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Always a pleasure to be a part of the Flipman Show. My name is Renikia Williams. I'm owner of a private lending company specializing in fix and flip funding, new construction, 30-year rentals, short-term rentals, mixed-use developments. Just any real estate financing is what we specialize in. Most importantly, we don't need tax returns, income verification, or pay stubs to qualify for your next fixed flip or your next rental property, your next short-term rental property. Whatever it is you need to do, we can help you finance that with some of the best terms out there. We're nationwide, so we do lend in all 50 states. But if you are interested in financing a deal or looking for financing, just you can contact the number on the screen, or you can also text the number as well.
Boom. All right, guys, we've been rolling pretty hard here. We really appreciate Renikia joining us tonight for Flippinar 231. Jessica, short notice. She had already started her evening, and she said, "Sure, I'll come back." She was 30 minutes away. I really appreciate it.
Dedication for the team right there.
You will be rewarded.
Thank you, Jessica.
So if you didn't get your question answered, post them in the comment section of any video, and we answer those on a daily basis. Make sure, again, remember, you can get the contract that we've been using since 2003, been giving away since 2008, text the word contract. Remember, if nothing else, you want to determine what the hot markets are, and you want to partner with us to be able to start virtual wholesaling all over the country, text MLS. And lastly, remember the playlist. If you're trying to access a step-by-step set of my videos, text VIP to the number. Remember, if you're trying to set up your LLC, boom, text BIZ. And last but not least, my birthday is Sunday. If you want to bless me, just cash out me, $Flip, $$Flip. So with that being said, we'll see you guys on the FLIPSIDs.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me, and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
You text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. Now you know 205-964